What's going on, everybody? Are you planning a trip to Bangkok, Thailand to experience world-class shopping centers and the robust nightlife, but a part of you really wants to make sure that you squeeze in your Mother Nature time? Well, you're in luck. Bangkok actually happens to have some super beautiful parks that are right here in the city, easily accessible by public transportation. So I'm going to show you my top 3. Let's go. All right, guys, so the first stop of the day is Lumphini Park. And if you've been watching my channel, you know that I come here all the time. I probably come here almost every day. Probably 90% of the days I'm here. The reason I come here, in my opinion, this is probably the best park in the city. It has by far the most amenities and is probably the most family-friendly park in the city, especially in terms of the size of the park. There's so many different things to do here other than just walking and running and riding bicycle. It is a fantastic place to come as a solo traveler or as a family. So this park has a ton of amenities that I want to go over, besides obviously just this amazing running and walking track. So let's go over these amenities and kind of give you a general idea of what you can expect here in addition to the track and what your kids could do if you brought kids here. So let's get to it. So first things first, the main reason that most people come here, especially on the weekends, is the track. As you can see, there's people riding by on bicycles right now. There is times during the day where you're permitted to ride bicycle. I'll put that right down here in the corner if that's something that you're interested in doing. I know most people traveling are not gonna be riding a bicycle because there's really not a whole hell of a lot of places to actually even rent a decent bike from. But most people come here to walk and run on this track. And this track kind of loops around the whole park and is approximately 2.5 kilometers in length. But not only that, there's tons of section points where you can connect from one part of the main loop over to another part, and you can kind of do this little random scatter. So here's an example. As the track kind of curves around this way, there's this connection point that brings you across, and it kind of cuts off in 2 different directions, giving you access to other parts of the main track. So if you're running, you can kind of just zigzag around and just have a decent variety of different things to see. There's also this area here where there's some vendors, but I don't know the schedule to those vendors specifically. A lot of the stalls are actually empty, but last time I was here on the weekend, which was last weekend, some of these were open and there was some food that you could get here, but it is now Sunday morning and none of the vendors are open and there's nobody over here. In fact, the overall traffic here is pretty low. So there's a couple places that you'll notice on the main track that sell things like waters, juices, snacks, and stuff like that. They're typically open every day, almost all day. So there is some snack and drink access in the park every day, but not every place is going to be open every day. So just keep that in mind. Here behind me is an example of one of the places that's open pretty much every day. Every time I've ever come here, they're serving cold drinks. So right now I'm walking up to Lumphini Hall, which actually recently was completely renovated and looks phenomenal. It looks really, really nice. And this happens to be an event venue. And apparently they do some dances in here and some other things. There's nothing going on right now other than just people in there cleaning. But it is an event hall, so you'd have to look into potentially sourcing out some sort of event schedule online to figure out some of the things coming up that they do here and figure out how to get access to those events. So leaving the Lumphini Hall and coming down here right across the trail is the Lumphini Recreation Center. So you got tennis courts, you have some other courts inside for like that, what is that little ping pong frickin' game that people play. You got a pool here and you have an indoor fitness center. So in my opinion, when it comes to the pool, if you want to swim in Thailand or Bangkok, I would advise instead that you opt for a place that actually has a pool, like a hotel or condo that has a pool, instead of paying the additional membership fees and going through the process of getting approved to even go here. Because this pool, believe it or not, you need your passport and you need to go across the street and get a medical examination from a doctor, them giving you the approval to even swim here before you get a membership. So one thing you'll notice in the park as you walk around, that there is plenty of restrooms here, and they're not just your pretty average day restroom that you see at most parks. These restrooms are really nice. Many of them have been recently facelifted, so keep that in mind. That's not going to be an issue at all. One thing you'll notice in this park is that there is a ton of places to sit with an amazing view. So if you're just kind of looking to come over here and relax, you're not gonna have a problem finding a seat. There is so many benches, always benches available. Most people come here to work out and walk, so not a problem at all finding somewhere to kick back. So there's these paddle boats here that you can rent for periods of time and take out. They do provide life jackets, and they're open every day of the week. Now there's nobody out there right now, probably because it's one of the hottest times of the day. But you're typically going to see people out here more so Friday evenings, Saturday and Sunday mornings, and Saturday and Sunday evenings right before sunset. That is when not only is everything in general going to be busier, but other people typically are out renting these paddle boats. Now, one of the main reasons people come to Lumphini Park is for the water monitors. These are a pretty big lizard, not Komodo dragon type, but I mean big. And the water monitors here are some of the biggest water monitors I've ever seen in my life. And you can find these things kind of all around Thailand, in water canals, and even some people's gardens. But definitely Lumphini Park is the place where it's the highest concentration of them in the city, and they're beyond healthy here. Some of these guys are monsters. So not too far of a walk here, and we got to an area that's super family friendly. You have all your amazing views, all the cool animals to look at, stuff like that. But you also have a couple really nice little parks here, and perfect place to bring your kids to play. There's also a pump track over here. It's actually this way. But this pump track that's made for those pedalless balance bikes. So again, for kids. But super cool that they incorporated all this stuff into the park, because it makes it much more enjoyable for everybody of all ages. So just a few steps from the park, literally behind me, is one of the really nice free basketball courts here. And this basketball court blows away any basketball court that I had access to and I'd ever used in the United States. Obviously, there's going to be some there that maybe are better. But I mean, to have this accessible here in the park, another amenity for free, is amazing. And most parks in the United States that I visited would have a half court. So it'd be cut off at the half court line and you'd have one hoop. This is a legitimate full court, and you also even have a little stadium chairs here that people could sit and watch if they wanted. So it's really cool. That's one of my favorite things about Bangkok and their parks is there's full-time staff. As you can see behind me, that lady's cleaning. She's keeping as much of the leaves off of the runway because, believe it or not, leaves can actually get pretty slippery. Now behind me, as you can see here, is an outdoor gym with weights. Not really any cardio equipment, but they have some bench presses and some dumbbells, homemade dumbbells typically, and some other miscellaneous random workout equipment. This one behind me is 30 baht per day. It is a little bit more expensive than the other one because it's bigger and it has more equipment, but still they're both cheap, and it's a good option if you just want to get in a quick little workout. There's definitely enough there for the average person to get a good little pump. Obviously, it's not like state-of-the-art gym with tons of crazy, amazing equipment, but it's enough to get by. And if you know you like to work out, you just want to experience that vibe of an outdoor Thailand gym, those are a good option. So check them out. Right here is actually an example of an outdoor gym, which is free to use, super cool. There's some places like this in Vegas and even in where I came from, my hometown, but nothing really to this extent. So now I'm gonna get out of here and move on to the next park, which is actually a walking distance away. There's so much other stuff here that you could go over. You could probably make an hour-long video just talking about all the different things in this park. But I think I've pretty much generally went over most of the basic stuff, and it gives you a pretty decent idea of what to expect when you come here. I highly recommend it. Like I said, probably one of the best parks in Bangkok with the most amenities and the most family friendly, the most things to do for kids. A lot of the other parks in town pretty much kind of are more of just a beautiful park for walking and stuff like that. As I continue to go on throughout the day, there's going to be less and less things that kind of cater to kids. So this one is by far the best. So after about a 10-minute walk, we are just here on the edge of Benchakitti Park. And this is kind of divided up into a couple different areas. You have the main huge man-made pond that has a running and bike track around it. And then you also have some of these garden areas like this, which look absolutely gorgeous. And then you also have a dog park. And there's a couple other little things too, like a small outdoor workout area, nothing really too spectacular, but I'll show you that, as well as you can also rent those paddle boats here at Benchakitti Park as well. So let's get to it. So the side of the park that I'm on right now would be the west side of the park, I believe, and it's mostly gardens. It's an awesome place to walk around if you know you want to get out in the gardens and take some beautiful pictures or Instagram pictures or whatever it may be. Great little place to even come relax. There's a couple of benches just kind of scattered around in areas. Some of them are out in the sun, some of them are covered by some shade, but it is a great place to hang out for kind of whatever it is that you intend on doing, all purposes. Right now we're going to kind of slowly make our way over to the other side of the park, which typically is the high traffic area, and that is where the running track is and kind of the outdoor gym stuff is. And there's kind of a small little temple thing there where, you know, locals can pay their respects and stuff like that. So we're gonna make our way over there now. So right here they have a couple of indoor kind of sports arenas. This one says table tennis court, and I actually can hear table tennis balls bouncing around inside. So yeah, that literally is all just a bunch of table tennis tables. And this one is all badminton, and they do have memberships. So you would pay a yearly or monthly or maybe a daily fee to get into them. But if you're into those types of things, that would be kind of a cool place to check out. So it's nice to have it as an option if you're into those types of things. Now we're gonna walk right across the little lane here, kind of into the flowery park here. So let's kind of see what it looks like on some of these skinnier little trails through the flowers and trees. Hopefully these bridges are solid. I would assume they are, but oh man, there's nobody out here, so. It's actually crazy how big and populated of a city that Bangkok is. And when you're standing here, you know that you're completely surrounded by the hustle and bustle of this crazy metropolitan area. It is loud in Bangkok, which is one thing that a lot of people complain about when they come here. But that's just the way it is. I mean, most metropolitan cities around the world are going to be relatively noisy. But to actually be in the center of the city, the heart of Bangkok, and you're walking through a park with beautiful flowers, totally green, it doesn't feel like you're in a metropolitan area. Not only that, it doesn't sound like it. I think a lot of these trees and plants do a really good job at kind of muting a lot of that noise. All right, guys, so after about a 10 or 15 minute walk from the other side of the park, it is a big park. We finally made our way to probably what you're familiar with seeing online and in most videos talking about Benchakitti Park. This is the side that has the huge oval shaped man-made pond with the running track around it. And it's absolutely beautiful over here, and it's a really great place to run. But there's like no shade. So keep in mind, if you come here to work out, that you're gonna be in the sun. So one thing you can see similar here to Lumphini is across the way, you can rent paddle boats and potentially kayaks too. So up here you're going to see that there's a lot of miscellaneous body weight workout equipment. There's no weights in general. I mean, like, there's no dumbbells and stuff. There may be two over here. I don't know if somebody brought those here, but they weren't here last time. But besides that, it's pretty much all body weight workout equipment. Totally free to use, super nice to have access to, considering it's free. I've used it a few times, but ever since I moved to the other side of town, I don't come here anymore. So it's just too far out of the way for me. So I utilize Lumphini instead. By the way, on my way out of here, I wanted to mention that there is a dog park here, and it's beautiful. It's not your typical dog park like you'd see in just some random little town. It's a freaking full-blown garden. So if you have a dog, check that out. It's absolutely amazing in here. Just make sure you clean up after your dog. And here's kind of a map of Benchakitti Park that shows you all of the general areas, kind of where we came in. And then the sports buildings, you can also see there's a few other park areas, as well as the amphitheater, a museum building, as well as the main Benchakitti pond with the track. So this park is absolutely huge, and I definitely recommend if you come here to try and check it all out. It is beautiful. Just come on a day that's maybe not too hot, or come at the right time of the day. Give yourself enough time to check it out because it's worth it, trust me. So yeah, we're out of there, and boom, just like that, you're right back in the hustle of the city. The crazy thing is, this is the dog park right here, and even when you're just in that general area, the combination of this wall and the trees and the plants and bushes and everything else like cuts off so much of that noise. It's mind-blowing how much quieter it is just on the other side of that wall than it is over here. So I have now arrived at the Chatuchak Park here near the Chatuchak Weekend Market. I took the MRT Blue Line to Chatuchak Station, so super easy if you're trying to come this way by train. That's probably your best option. Otherwise, you can take the SkyTrain to Mochit. That is another option, but this was my third on my list. And the reason I picked this place as one of the top 3 is just because it is full-blown beautiful and very well upkept. All of the bushes are always trimmed super well. I don't know if they're out here every day on these or what they're doing, but I feel like it would be a full-time job just trimming the bushes around the whole park. You'd be doing it like every day because there's so many. But this place is one of the prettiest and always very clean parks, and there's not a lot of additional amenities besides just being a park with nice trees, flowers and stuff like that, but it's perfect for that. It is a perfect little getaway. And if you're in the mood for some shopping, or maybe you came to the weekend market and you just need to take a break from the market, this is right across the street from Chatuchak Weekend Market. So perfect spot to kind of like utilize those 2 different activities on the same day. I mean, look at this bush. It's in the shape of an elephant. Dude, like, I think somebody's out here every day trimming a bush somewhere. Absolutely, they go over the top in this park. So that's what I really love about this part. So yeah, as you can see, there's some kind of miscellaneous body weight workout stuff to use, but never seen anybody using that stuff before. So so as you can see, there is water monitors over here as well. That is a really little water monitor, but those things are pretty much all around the city, generally in places that have water. So pretty much every park is going to have a water monitor somewhere. So there's kind of a little park area here with some teeter-totters, these little, almost like, you know, construction concrete tubes, as well as this kind of borderline looking pump track, which I'm assuming is just to run over because they have bushes on the ends. There's these other little stones you could sit on or crawl on or whatever. And yeah, it's not a lot, but there's even a little jungle gym over here, it looks like. So So with that being said, I started filming this video at about 9:50 a.m. I believe it was. It is 3:15. I've been on the constant move, filming and walking now in 95-degree weather and humid for many hours, and I'm ready to call it a day. So after a long day of walking all around the city, my legs and stuff, dude, forget it, dude. They're screwed. So I was able to cover 3 of my favorite parks here in Bangkok, 3 of the best parks in Bangkok. They are the biggest 3 parks in the city, and hopefully this video gives you a pretty general idea of what you can expect to see when you go to these parks. Everyone's preferences are different, so some people are gonna like Lumphini Park and kind of all of the additional accessories and amenities and everything else you can do there. Some people are gonna like Chatuchak Park, the more basic, simple, basically normal park, right? And I guess what I would suggest is, if you're coming to Bangkok for an extended period of time, try to make time to see them all. You know, go to the Chatuchak weekend market, check out the park, and maybe if you're staying in city center area, you know, go to Benchakitti Park for a morning workout or evening workout. And then maybe just kind of set together another day where you could potentially check out Lumphini and go to Central Park, Bangkok, and check out that lookout over Lumphini on the same day, because they're just right next to each other. And maybe if you're coming here just for a few days, check one out or check the other out. Maybe next time around, come back through, check out one of the other ones. So I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Peace out.